It's gonna be a fucking train wreck.
Welcome to the gray area. My name's Greg. That's Ray. And Paul's behind the camera. Woo! And we're here to drink beer and talk about sports.
Let's get after it.
Oh, God.
You did that on purpose.
No.
Dock his pay again.
Less gum.
Less Trident layers.
Let's try. Only one layer, not layers.
Trident layer?
Yeah, just the one.
Just normal Trident.
It's,
It's like those little cube things.
yeah, it's just juicy fruit. Actually, we just messed with
It
the
only
packaging.
lasts 6 seconds. 6 seconds of flavor.
All right. Let's get into playoff hockey.
As is tradition, playoff hockey. We're going to start at the Eastern Conference. I'm just going to go through every series.
All right.
So we'll start with Maple Leafs and Senators. The Leafs are up 3-2. After being up 3-0, the Senators have won their last two. So the Leafs were up 3-0, and the Senators have won their last two. The Senators won Game 4 in OT with a game winner scored by D-man Jake Sanderson. And they won Game 5 in a 4-0 shutout
Jesus.
in Toronto.
That was last night?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
So they're going to Ottawa
Yes.
next.
Yeah, so the series moves back to Ottawa tomorrow for Game 6.
If the Leafs blow this again, they love losing in the first round.
Yeah, they do.
It's
They
their
sure
favorite
do.
thing.
It's literally their favorite thing. It's their fans' least favorite thing. Moving on.
Poor
The
Austin Matthews.
Lightning and the Panthers. The Florida Panthers lead the series against the Lightning 3-1. Florida dominated Game 1 with a final score of 6-2. Shut out Tampa in Game 2, 2-0. The Lightning responded big in Game 3 with a 5-1 win over the Panthers on their home ice. And then they lost Game 4, 4-2. So the Panthers will try to close out the series tonight on the road.
Okay.
See if they can do that.
Real quick. So the Panthers won last year.
Yeah.
Do they have a shot to do it this year?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think they're quite the same team. I don't think they have the same drive.
They lost personnel or just they're not hot?
I
like
just
they
don't
were
think they're
before?
hot.
Okay.
No. They could do it. Anything can happen right now, but
You were saying it was kind of open this
yeah,
year.
I still feel that way. I feel like it's really anybody's game, especially because things are changing so quickly.
Right.
Like the Maple Leafs looked good in the first 3 games, and then they blew it.
Yeah.
And we'll get to more because
It has been pretty volatile.
there's been a lot
yeah.
of flip-flopping in these series.
Yeah, I want to see if anybody's gotten swept. I haven't been following the whole thing.
No sweeps.
Really?
Yep. So the Canadians and the Capitals, the Caps lead this series against the Canadians 3-1. This one's been back and forth, similarly to Lightning and Panthers, with the Canadians scoring 6 goals in Game 3, just like a ton of goals being scored. The Caps are going to try to close out the series tonight at home. So I don't have much else, but they might be able to do that. They're at home. They got the home ice advantage. They can do it.
They were the second best team in hockey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Devils Hurricanes. The Hurricanes defeated the Devils last night in double OT, 5-4 to eliminate the Devils in 5 games.
Damn.
Yep. Going into the second period, the Devils held the lead 3-0. In the first 6 minutes of the second period, the Canes tied the game 3-3.
Yeah.
2 more goals were exchanged later in the second period. Then they went almost an hour
Without scoring.
of play with no goals scored, pushing the game to double overtime. Finally, at 15:43 left in the second overtime, Sebastian Aho scored the game winner and series-winning power play goal on a missile of a shot from the top of the circle. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was a hell of a shot.
We didn't get to see the end of it. We left.
No, we left
Because it went so long.
Well, yeah, I listened to the end of the overtime on the way home, or I listened to overtime on the way home, and then I just woke up and saw it.
Because the game went on forever. Yeah.
Jets Blues. This is this is the longest, obviously,
course.
because this is our team and
That's our job.
There's a lot going on. So after losing the first 2 games to the Jets, the Blues have bounced back in pretty spectacular fashion. They won the next 2 games at home, 7-2 and 5-1.
Yeah.
Both games, the Jets pulled their Vezina-winning goaltender, Connor Hellebuck.
This second game.
Yes.
So I saw it. They were talking, the commentators. This is like only the second time in his career where he's been pulled in back-to-back games.
That's crazy.
And we did it once, so that's pretty cool.
Yep. The fans chanting "We won Connor,"
We won Connor.
and then in the second game, the fans were doing it right after he got pulled, and the organ chimed in. So they were going. He was playing the music with the "We won Connor" chants, and it was awesome.
It's excellent trolling by
Yes.
the organist.
Yes. So the series this one seems like the only one sports media is talking about right now, but it might just be my algorithm.
Probably.
But it does seem like there's a heavy emphasis on it. But
Well, also, it's because we went on that crazy run,
Yeah.
so we're popping in the
right.
news.
But
Yeah.
it's also my bubble of
Sure.
everything.
Right.
So
Even I was getting blue stuff. It knows.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm getting all the Jets sports talk like on my YouTube and stuff now.
Just them crying.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically.
Just sobbing into
Yeah.
microphones.
So the pressure.
Just you
What,
see a new
Paul?
video. It's just a compilation of just Jet players just like crying, just sobbing, just like that's a great video.
Yep. The fans mostly. There's a lot of pressure on the Jets right now, and obviously their goalie. But nobody really seems to be giving the Blues credit except Blues media. Like everybody's just.
What do they think? They just think Hallebeck's blowing it?
I don't. Well, yes, they're just dumping on the goalie. They're not discounting the Blues, but they're not really giving the Blues the credit they deserve.
They're just saying like he's choking rather than saying we're scoring.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're scoring a million goals.
Oh yeah. I
So
mean, they're playing better.
it could be both, but we're
Right.
still scoring. Like
Right.
even if and he has had some crazy saves.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's not like he's completely blowing it.
It's their whole team.
Yeah.
Honestly, and admittedly, I kind of discounted the Blues at the beginning of this series.
So did I.
I
I feel like everybody did.
Yeah, I really didn't think they were going to do something,
Oh,
and
for sure we were outclassed.
and now I'm eating my words.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
Me too. I'm down with
I
it.
was pretty tough on him last week. I really just didn't see him playing full 60 minutes.
Well,
So it's hard to.
they're gritty, dude.
They
They have that.
but it's-
That's our spirit. Our teams are always like
right.
that.
It's hard to count on a team though when they're not playing full
When-
60-minute games.
when they're inconsistent. Yeah.
But they bounced back pretty spectacularly. Cam Fowler set a franchise record for most points by a D-man in a playoff game.
He was
With 4
loud
points.
in that second
Yeah,
game, dude.
it's
He was
awesome.
screaming.
D-man Tyler Tucker scored his first NHL playoff goal, which was sick. And the Jets were getting chippy, and the Blues just skated away.
The Jets captain tried to fight everybody at least
Oh
once.
yeah, well he got a game misconduct.
Yeah.
There were 3 game misconducts, I believe, in game 3, and then like 5 in game.
It's always
4.
him though. I
Yeah.
forget his name, but it's the captain on the Jets.
I don't remember his name either. That's okay. Right now, the Blues are doing everything right. So hopefully they can carry it to the next game tonight on the road and take the series lead. Game 5 is honestly a must-win for both teams.
Yeah, game 5s are always important.
It's huge. If the Jets can bounce back and win on home ice, they set themselves up to come back for a Game 7, even if they lose in St. Louis for
Right.
Game 6.
And I'd like to have that safety net. That would be nice.
Right. If the Blues can win tonight in Winnipeg, they can easily take the series in 6 games, or at least have the confidence to win Game 7 in Winnipeg if they
Right.
have to.
Yeah,
So,
and we've been here before.
right.
So
I'm also curious to see if the Jets start Hellebuck tonight in Game 5,
I'd imagine they have to
especially at home. I
Yeah.
think so.
because he played better at home.
If they lose tonight, though, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Comrie in Game 6 in St. Louis.
I just feel, I understand what you're saying, and you're probably right. But Hallebeck's upside, he is the best goalie in the league. He's had a rough couple of games, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
Dude, he just looks lazy, though. Like,
he gives up.
yes, he looks defeated. He looks lazy. He's
Well,
not.
Bennington's
Dude,
he has his number.
He's unreal.
He has his number, dude. He beats him in the Four Nations.
Right.
Listen, I will forgive Bennington if he beats Hallebuck again. I'll forgive him for letting Canada beat us in the Four Nations. If he brings glory to St. Louis, I will take individual city glory over nation glory every day of the week.
Awesome.
Sorry, fans.
No, you're not. You're not sorry.
I'm
at all?
not. I'm not at all.
And then Paul wanted me to talk about this because he thought it was interesting. So,
I thought
Paul,
this is super interesting. Please continue.
here's what?
I thought it was super interesting.
Oh, yeah,
Please
it is super
continue.
interesting. So, Paul's request, he wanted me to talk about the Shen brothers playing against each other in this series. I actually wasn't aware that Luke Shen even played for the Jets.
I texted you. I was like, I didn't know Shen had an evil twin on
Yeah,
the Jets.
So he's been doing a little bouncing around to different teams as of late, going from the Maple Leafs to the Predators in 2023, and then basically, then he got traded to the Penguins in March of this year, and then 2 days later was traded to the Jets.
So he's just bouncing around,
Yeah.
dude.
And then Blues captain Braden Shen has been with the Blues since 2017.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite players. I almost wore his jersey for this show, and I decided not to wear a jersey, but I don't know why I didn't.
You
Oh
should
well.
have.
Oh well.
Supposedly, this is the first time that they've been in the NHL that they're sharing the ice on opposing teams.
In the playoffs,
Yes.
because they've played each other before, but Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't catch that.
It's always fun when that happens in professional sports when they're playing their brother.
Well, it's fun for us.
Yeah. Not for him.
It's a whole new level of sibling rivalry.
Well, I'll get to that. So I first noticed on TV when I was watching game 1 because they were showing their parents. And I was like, oh, it said like the Shen brothers' parents, Braden Shen's parents. Excuse me. But
nice.
they had a kid on their lap who was wearing a Jets jersey. And I was like, that's not Braden's kid. That can't be. Like, why would they do that? And then I just started piecing everything together. Their dad has been to every game this series, to my knowledge. And he said that it's really tough time rooting for either team. He doesn't cheer for either team.
Yeah, you're split.
He's like, when one good thing happens to one of his sons, something bad is happening to the other, and then vice versa. And he said it's really tough to watch, and he wishes they weren't playing each other.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be tough as the dad,
Yeah.
sure.
Imagine that, just like, goal happens. Yay, also boo!
Right. Well, then, I'm pretty sure Luke Shen got a game misconduct one of the games, and Braden Shen had penalties. But I've never seen them. I'm kind of surprised they're not fighting. Like, I kind of want to see them go after each other on the ice. I feel like every time Luke's in a scrum, Braden's on the bench.
Maybe he does that on purpose. Maybe he doesn't want the smoke.
Maybe. I just want to see Luke getting in with somebody's face and Braden just coming up and headlocking him and throwing him out.
Just giving him a noogie, taking his helmet off and giving him a noogie.
Well, Braden's
Wet
the little
Willie.
brother, so.
Yeah, Wet Willie.
But yeah, there you go, Paul. Is that enough for you?
Yes, thank
Good.
you.
But anyway, yeah, so there's that.
So that was Paul's segment?
Yeah.
Paul
That was Paul's-
sponsored that
Paul's
segment?
segment.
Okay,
He
cool.
texted me. He's like, "Will you talk about this?" I said, "Sure." All right, let's move on. So the Avalanche and the Stars is the last game or the next game in this. Oh wait, no, sorry, we're in the Western Conference, so it's the next. It's not the last game. Dallas leads the series 3-2. The series has been back and forth. Both teams are scary, and the series is probably going to go to 7 games.
Yeah. Remember you put your money on Dallas.
Yes,
So
they're-
that hangs in the
they're
balance.
up right now. So personally, other than the fact that I want them, I said they would win.
Mhm.
I also want them to win. 1, I hate the Avs. I absolutely hate the Avs. And 2, I'd much rather play the Stars than the Avs in the next round.
Is that who that's who would play?
Yes.
So if we do beat the Jets and then get the Stars, it'll literally be the exact same.
Yes,
as it-
2019.
Yeah.
Yes. It'll be just like 2019.
That'd be weird.
It'd be crazy.
Yeah.
I don't really want a repeat of 2022 when the Avs beat us in 6 games.
Yeah, that was upsetting.
I can't relive the insane McKinnon hat trick in Game 5. The Blues won that game.
You wake up with cold sweats. You're like, no,
Yeah.
McKinnon. God, no.
I hated that. That was the worst moment of my life. Although it would be awesome to like beat them in the playoffs, I don't want to have. I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
But-
well, we got to get through the Jets first,
Yeah.
and then we can
Oh,
start.
I know.
Yeah.
But that's why I don't want them to do it to win. So
You don't want to relive your trauma.
yep. Game 6 is tomorrow in Colorado, so we'll see how that goes.
Alrighty.
The Golden Knights versus the Wild. The Knights are up 3-2. They won last night. They won the last 2 games in overtime. The series is moving back to Minnesota tomorrow for Game 6. It's still anybody's series.
Sure. I'm shocked the Wild are putting up that good of a fight.
Yeah, they are. They should have won. I think it was yesterday, but they were offside by like a centimeter on the goal,
And they called it back.
and they called it back. Yeah,
That's always a heartbreaker.
they originally did a review. What was the review for? It wasn't even for the offsides. It was something completely different. It was because they thought he kicked it in. So the NHL did a review or whatever.
Okay.
That review was over, and they said he didn't kick it in. And then there was like a coach's challenge for offside. So it was like a 45-minute break trying to figure out this goal. The Kings and the Oilers. The Oilers were down 2-0, much like the Blues series. They've won their last 3 games to take the series lead over the Kings. So they're winning right now 3-2. Yep.
3 in a row. That's hard.
Yep. They'll look to close out the series tomorrow night at home.
Well, if they're that hot, they probably will.
We'll see. I mean, again, anything can happen here. So, but the Kings look good too. That's the other thing. So the Kings just look
Oilers
good.
were in the finals last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And they lost.
Right.
So there's a little bit of fire.
Sure.
And then I have a clip here. We'll get to it here in a sec. So this is the national anthem of Game 5. Yeah, of Game 5 in LA. the Koreatown Senior and Community Center harmonica class did the national anthem in games 1, 2, and 5 for the LA Kings.
Okay.
So apparently this class has been performing at a bunch of different events all over LA, and the Kings got a hold of them, and they invited them to perform the anthem for game 1 and then game 2. And then back by popular demand.
So it sounds like they're crushing.
Game 5. So we're going to watch this killer performance of the national anthem on like 15 harmonicas from
yeah, dude.
80-year-old Korean ladies. It's fantastic.
That is a crazy sentence.
Let's send it, Paul.
That was a roller coaster. Oh my God, the crowd's loving it.
You could even turn this up if you want.
And they're just belting it.
Yes.
That's awesome. I love me a good harmonica.
The dudes laughing, like giggling. Oh, they love it, dude.
It's like half of the guys are head down and half of them are just like beaming with joy.
Next time it's going to be kazoos.
Oh, dude, we could do that. Kazoos?
I hope not.
The crowd is into it.
Mm-hmm. In LA of all places.
Right.
This patriotic.
I want there to be a solo for this.
I thought they were going to yell Kings. Honestly, they crushed it.
Yeah.
I did not know what to expect when I saw this. I was like, oh no, like, what is this going to be?
Incredible.
They crushed it.
Yeah, they three-peated.
Yeah,
dude.
no wonder they came back for Game 5. They also won games 1 and 2, so they had to invite them back for Game 5, which they ended up losing, but that's fine.
Well, they were almost a good luck charm.
Right. And that's all I have for hockey today.
All right.
Oh, actually, no,
Ooh.
sorry. We talked about this crazy stat last night, so I had to pull it up right before the show. And it's back to the Jets and the Blues real quick.
Okay.
My last thing. The Jets have not won a playoff game after they've lost a playoff game since 2019.
Jesus Christ.
So last year, or 2020, this is wrong, 2025.
So it's either sweeps or nothing
Yeah.
for them?
Yep.
Sweeps or else?
Yep. 2022 or 2023, they lost games 2 through 5. Then they lost games 2 through 5 to Colorado. And then they lost games 3 and 4 to St. Louis.
So just notorious chokers, huh?
Yeah, they didn't make it in 2022. 2021, they got swept 4-0 Montreal in round 2. So they swept Edmonton, so they won all 4 games.
And then
they got swept.
God, that's got to suck.
In 2020, they doesn't really count because that was the bubble year, and yeah, there was like a play-in round, so it didn't count. So 2021, 2023, 2024, after they've lost a playoff game, they haven't won.
They lose once and give
then
up.
This year they've lost 2 and haven't won yet. So hopefully, hopefully we keep that streak going.
They beat us once. Might as well give up.
Yep. That's it.
That's
anyway,
such a crazy stat.
That's it.
So shitty. It's got to suck. So that's why these Jets fans are going like nuclear, because they just see this happen over and over and over again.
It's awesome.
I would also lose my mind if I was a Jets fan.
I'm stoked. I hope it keeps happening.
Me too. I hope.
Sorry,
it
Jets
stays
fans.
true. I'm not sorry. I hope we win.
That's the end of hockey.
Alrighty.
No more hockey.
You want to switch over to basketball?
Is it Ray's basketball corner?
It is, in fact, Ray's basketball corner. Can you play that music, kind sir?
Sure.
Hell yeah. You ready?
Do we edit that burp out, or
No, we're keeping that in, dude. Are you crazy?
We're not fixing that.
The show's like 90% burps. We'd have no content if we weren't burping.
I think that was the first burp on camera we've done.
Well, I'll double those numbers.
Send it.
All right. So I'm just going to give a rundown of what's going on.
Go.
All right. Cleveland, Miami. Cleveland took the series in a 4-0 sweep. None of the games were close. The score of the last game was 138-83. So that moves it into the top 5 biggest playoff blowout territory with a 55-point deficit.
We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah, but this time it's Miami taking it instead of the Grizzlies. Miami only averaged 95 points across those 4 games. Like each game, that was their game average to Cleveland's 126.
That's rough.
That is rough. So yeah, they got swept. I called that.
Sure did.
Miami, have fun in Cancun. Hope you guys have a nice, relaxing vacation. We're switching over. Next series, Bad Guys versus the Magic. Orlando managed to win 1 game, but those rat bastards in Boston won the series 4-1. Again, Orlando, Cancun 2. Electric Boogaloo. Let's move on to the third series. We got Detroit versus Knicks. This is the only series that's entertaining in the East.
That's the title of
Cancun 2 Electric Boogaloo.
I also didn't realize that we're speed running through Ray's basketball corner.
Yeah, we got a Blues game to watch.
Yeah, and there's like a million series. I get more in depth on the ones that matter.
Those don't
Detroit
matter.
versus Knicks. This is finally a series. Like all the other two, just ass kickings. The Knicks led 3-2, but all these games they lead right now 3-2, but all these games have been competitive. Shout out again to the good people of Detroit. It'd be sick to see them win. They've been going through it.
We'll see.
It would be nice to have them win. I also can't handle watching Jalen Brunson flop for 48 minutes anymore, dude. I can't. Anytime anybody comes near him, he's doing this shit. He's just jerking his head back, throwing himself to the floor. It's fucking miserable.
That's how you play basketball.
No, I don't flop. I just scream, foul! Foul!
That's just as bad.
Arguably worse, because I'm not getting paid to do it. I just do it for the love of the game.
Fair enough.
Game 6 is tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, I can't handle the flopping. Although if Detroit does win, I will have to sit through more Knicks basketball.
Flopping.
And then if the Knicks win, they will make it to the second round, and I have to sit through more Knicks
He'll keep
basketball.
flopping.
So either way, I'm doomed.
You are doomed.
Next one. This one's kind of sad. We're gonna get into this. Bucks Pacers. The Bucks lost Game 5 in spectacular fashion.
Wait, Q-sad music?
Yeah, just a couple of violins. All right.
I'm not adding music in.
That's too much work. That's too much work for Greg. The Bucks lost Game 5 spectacular fashion. They were leading. That has the Pacers up 4-1. They won. They won the series. So despite Giannis having 30 points, 20 rebounds, 13 assists, and being up 4 points with 50 seconds left in regulation, the Bucks managed to lose in OT. Are you ready for it to get even sadder? In Game 4, Damian Lillard, who just got back from that blood clot injury, tore his Achilles tendon.
Oh, no.
Guards usually never return from that injury well. They're like a shell of what they were before, and he's 34. So he's probably not going to play the entirety of next season, and when he comes back,
man,
he's probably not going to be anywhere near what he was, which is sad because
yeah, that is sad.
I like Damian Lillard. He's one of my favorite players. Sucks to see him go out like that. I hope he does recover and becomes like the exception to the rule, but probably not. And then on top of that, the Bucks don't have a first-round pick until 2031 because they traded so many assets to get Dame on the Bucks. So I think their only option now is to trade Giannis for a huge trade package and just start the rebuild.
Right.
Because they're cooked. They're already like the oldest roster in the NBA. They don't have any young assets at all. So I think Giannis has to go because he's 30. He'll be 31. His prime's closing. His game's completely predicated on athleticism.
That's tough.
So when that's gone, I mean, he's not a good jump shooter. So if he wants to win another, he's got to do it now, and I don't think that's happening in Milwaukee. So he's probably going to request out, which is sad, man. I like that team because he was one of the guys that like won with the franchise that drafted him. And you don't see that a lot anymore. So again, that was sad. Rest in peace, Bucks. My heart goes out to you too. That shit blows. That being said, Bucks, Cancun 3. Cancun rises. All right, OKC versus Grizzlies. There's been a massacre. Call the cops. OKC swept these guys 4-0. It's miserable. Ja went down in Game 4, so they really didn't have a chance. So Grizzlies are out. Cancun 4. The Cancun inning. Golden State Warriors.
How'd you come up with those names?
Just shitty sequel names. Golden State Warriors versus Rockets. Warriors are up 3-1. They play again tonight. I'm expecting the Warriors to finish the job. Again, this is a brutal 7th seed to go up against for the Rockets after their first really good season in a while, where they were the 2nd seed. Tough pull to get the Warriors newly tooled with Jimmy Butler. We'll see if they have any fight left in the tank, but I think the Warriors are probably going to knock them out next game. And I called that too. And that other sweep. And I called the Bucks and Pacers. So I've been right all the way across the board so far. This one I was wrong about, and this is the one that makes me the saddest. Lakers and Timberwolves. Wolves are up 3-1.
Ha
Dude, they look toast. The Lakers look toast. Yeah, I'm emotionally devastated.
Ant's the man.
Dude.
Ant-Man.
Game 4 was a rough fucking watch. We were up most of it, but it just didn't matter. If you can't maintain the lead at the end of the game.
Right.
Yeah. You had a geriatric LeBron James out there playing over 46 minutes. There's 48 minutes in a basketball game. He was out there for 46 minutes. That can't happen. Austin Reeves didn't score until the second half. Luka Doncic can't play defense to such a degree that it's detrimental. Like, no matter how good he is on offense, he's so bad at defense that it almost negates what he does offensively. It's fucked up. He also kept turning the ball over. He kept doing this thing where he'd call over the screener, but he'd be like right across half. So we like back to the line. You're going to backcourt if you go any farther back. And he'd trap himself next to the out of bounds line and then call in the other defender basically. And then just turn the ball over. And he did it like 3 times. I was like, what are we doing? They teach you that in like grade school basketball. Don't hang out in that corner
right
near the backcourt line and the out of bounds line. You're going to lose the ball. I don't care how good you are. That's just fundamental. Don't do that. So as you can tell, I'm
mad.
And then on top of all of that, Ant decided to give us the absolute business in Game 4. He dropped 43 while shooting over 52% from the field. The guy was lights out. No matter who we threw at him, he just kept scoring. It was gross. And even all of that stacked against us, the Lakers only lost by 3 points, which makes it so much worse because they were winning like the whole game until the end. Horrible to watch. My hopes are low for making a comeback. I've seen LeBron do it before. He can do it, but that was when he was younger. This is a little different.
Yeah, he's like 80 years old now.
And the other teams where he did it were like pretty sound defensively, and this one is not. So next game is tonight, but I fear Cancun is in our future. I didn't give it a title because it hasn't happened yet, but I'll come with one when it does. All right, final series. This one's probably the most entertaining of the first round. Is the Nuggets and the Clippers. So this series is currently at 3-2 in favor of Denver, and it's been crazy. Every game's been awesome. This and then, like, obviously Detroit and the Knicks are the only two that have been genuinely entertaining. Game 4 was decided by maybe the wildest bucket I've ever seen in playoff basketball. I have the clip. Watch this.
Awesome.
So this is right at the end. 99s. Jokic just hucks up a prayer. They're going to show the replay. I want you to see how close that is to the buzzer. Like, it physically couldn't have been any closer. Also, I added another burp to the burp counter. Yeah, ping it up. Bing, 2 burps.
I'm not doing that either.
A counter would be hilarious, though.
The worst. Watch this, dude. This is nuts. So there's 0.1 seconds left. The ball's in his hand. No, it's not. It's literally right there. Look at that. No.
Wow.
It's out. It literally couldn't have been closer. Reggie Miller losing his mind. That's insane. Yeah, I mean, if you want to see it again, we can, but that's the game.
Do you think was that a set play?
No.
Okay, he just missed the shot.
They were asking Jokic afterwards. They were like, "Was that a lob?" And he goes, "No." I just brutally missed the 3-pointer. Jokic doesn't lie.
Okay, that makes way more sense. I was like, why would you set that up?
He did not do that on purpose. Aaron Gordon just had a heads-up play there, and they didn't box out at all. I guess they thought it was done, you know? They was like, oh, he missed that by a mile. I don't have to try anymore, and Aaron Gordon didn't give up on the play. So
that's what happens.
Yeah. Good for him. I've always liked Aaron Gordon, but he really does just stand down there in that dunker spot, and nobody ever guards him. So he just gets a million of those a game. That one just happened to be the closest buzzer beater dunk I've ever seen in my life.
That was awesome.
Were you a little too focused on the joy and hope in his eyes?
Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's got to feel awesome.
The guy behind him's so confused.
Michael Porter Jr. That's the dude that dismantled Mizzou's basketball team while I was there. I've never forgiven him. But yeah, that's our playoff picture so far.
Cool.
A lot of sweeps. More than well, actually, it's exactly what I expected. First round always kind of blows. All right. So I don't have any more basketball to cover, but I stumbled across this arena football story the other day, and it was so ridiculous.
I don't think we've ever talked about arena football.
I know. You're aware of what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a league. It's called Arena Football 1. Apparently the original one went under, and they reformed this one. So this is pretty low budget stuff. So there's an arena football team called the Corpus Christi Tritons. And they're having some trouble, right, financially. Allegedly, not a single player on the team had been paid in 3 weeks. Nobody. Not a cent. So after they lost a game on a Hail Mary pass, losing 47-40, the whole team quit. Because they were like, we just lost off a Hail Mary pass. I'm not getting paid. Fuck this shit. I'm out. So everyone left. So naturally, they went out and they got replacement players for their upcoming game against the Albany Firebirds.
Wait, is this year?
Yeah.
Okay.
But this was a week ago.
Okay.
But they had to put bodies out there.
Sure.
Because they didn't have a team. So they just people off the street. Nobody knows who these people are. So the Tritons then proceeded to get fucking obliterated 100-12. I'm going to repeat that again so it sticks. 100-12 in a professional sports league.
At least they scored.
100-12. It was 79-0 at half. And the Tritons QB, whose name was Keith Cool, it sounded made up, he went down and they replaced him with their defensive back. So they had a D-back playing quarterback.
Nice.
They were in such a bad situation that somehow helped. So the Tritons finally put up a tutty, and the wide receiver, after he scored a touchdown, walked off and proceeded to propose to his wife in the stands. And there's nobody in the stands, dude. There's 6 people at this game.
It's just wives.
It's just his wife.
He proposes. Thankfully, she said yes. Shockingly, she said yes. And then the Arena Football League didn't post any of the stats for this game because they don't know the people who were playing on the Tritons. They didn't know their names. These are just random people.
They didn't come up with a roster and nothing.
No, they don't know who these people were. So when they were calling, when they were commentating, they were and the pass is caught by number whatever, because they didn't know who they were.
To that guy.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically what they were doing. So that's rough.
Well, they knew Keith Cool.
It was Kyle Cool or Keith Cool. Okay. It was something that straight up just sounds like a made up porn star name. Yeah. And then they interview Albany's coach after the game, so the team that destroyed him. And he goes, I will not apologize for scoring points. I had my backup QB in the whole game. What do you want me to do? Put an O-lineman in at quarterback? So, arena football sounds like a shit show, basically, is what I'm getting at.
Was there video of any of this?
Yeah, there was. I saw little clips, but I didn't see the whole game.
You didn't see the guy propose? That's what I really want to see.
I saw a video of the guy proposing.
Why didn't you send that to me? We could have showed that.
It's literally, the video is just him running off the field and then proposing.
That's what I want to see.
And she was holding a baby.
But none of these guys got paid.
I don't know. I'm assuming that if they weren't going to pay the actual athletes, they're not going to pay these dudes that they found on the street.
Imagine going back to your day job and telling everybody you played in a professional arena football game.
That had to be why that guy proposed, because he was like, this is probably where I peak, is scoring a touchdown in a professional football league.
Paul's trying to find it.
Don't worry about it.
How do you propose at a football stadium? Is the number one Google question.
But yeah, I thought that story was funny, so I thought I'd share it with you. But that's all I got for today.
Where'd you find that?
I was just scrolling on TikTok and it popped up.
Sounds right.
And I did some research to make sure the guy wasn't just making up a story. Yeah.
It sounds like something you'd make up.
Right, but I want to repeat it for a third time.
No, dude, this is
112.
This is one of those things you just riff with your buddies and they just made up the story.
Yeah, dude, but it's real, unfortunately, for the Tritons.
Wow.
Corpus Christi, constantly getting decimated by hurricanes, and then this happens to
those poor Tritons. Any luck, Paul? All right. If we find it, we'll just put it right at the end of the video. Sure. But until then, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to follow us on social media at @GrayArea_sports and like and subscribe. And do I have to say anything else?
No, I think you got it.
That was a terrible order, but whatever.
You covered all your bases. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy.
Hey, producer Paul here. If you have a video that you want Greg and Ray to talk about, discuss, or even overreact to, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Thank you very much.